Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. We're going to go ahead and get started. So again, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here with us today. Today's Transition to College workshop is around community building. Building your community on a campus is very important, and in some ways it can be life-changing, which is a good thing. So we will be sharing different ways that you can find your own community space on your campus, and throughout we will also be having a panel of current or former college students where they'll be able to share a little bit more on what that was like for them. With that being said, I want to go ahead and introduce the team. So again, my name is Jeanette, and I am one of the two four-year success and alumni program managers at 10,000 Degrees. I'll pass it on to Joseph.
Hello, my name is Joseph Garcia, and I'm the South Bay Community College Success Fellow.
And hello, my name is Nayeli Dueñas, and I'm the Bay Area CSU Success Fellow. And welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
We will be doing our temperature check poll to see where everyone is at with their college journey so far. So our question for you all is, how are you feeling about transitioning into college and building community? So we have curious, thankful, processing, and excited. So we'll give you guys a couple of seconds to answer the poll.
And please go ahead and fill this out. This is how we will be taking attendance. So we'll know you're here when you submit your poll.
It looks like we have some people who are excited, processing, and thankful. So now we will be moving on to our goals for today. So our goals for today are learning about different ways to find and engage with your communities, hear from current students and alumni on how they build community on their campus, and leave the workshop with strategies to make a big campus a little bit smaller. I will pass it over to Nayeli to share our icebreaker.
Thank you, Joseph. If we can go to the next one. Yes, thank you, Carla. So now we're gonna go into small breakout rooms, and it's just a time for you to introduce yourself, get to know each other. You can get to know new staff, new students. So you're gonna introduce yourself. You can say your name, your gender pronouns, school attending, career interest, and you can pick one of the two questions that we have. And the first one is, what is a small thing that someone did that really encouraged you? And the second one is, what communities were you part of in high school? And just keep in mind that we have only 5 minutes. So if you can just pick one, and if you have more time, you're welcome to answer both questions. So you should be getting a notification right now to join a breakout room. And I will see you guys back in 5 minutes. Is everyone here yet or not?
Wait, I have a question.
Yes, what's your question?
I forgot to introduce myself in the breakout room.
That's okay. Do you want to introduce yourself now?
My name is Kit. Wait, can you go back to the other slide? I forgot what it was. I was in the bathroom. I had to floss my teeth. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so my name is Kit, and the school I'm attending is San Jose State University, and my career is aerospace engineering in the military. I'm sorry about that.
You're completely okay. Thank you for sharing. Well, thank you everyone for sharing. I hope you guys got to know each other and like meet new staff. We're gonna move on to the next part of our presentation, which is basically introducing the different camp like clubs and organizations that you guys might have on your campuses. And I just wanted to mention that there's a variety of different clubs and organizations that you all can be part of, and keep in mind that you don't have to identify with them to explore and be part of any communities, clubs on your campus. So there's plenty of options for you guys. And also you can be part of multiple ones. You don't have to limit yourself. And my best advice will be to keep yourself involved and as much active as you can. So we can continue to the other slide. So now we're gonna talk about the on-campus student jobs, and the great benefits of pursuing a on-campus studying job is that you will be able to stay on campus and interacting with students, co-workers, and other staff at the same time. It's a way of building community and connecting with others. The interactions that you will have will allow for networking opportunities, skill development, and feeling integrated within the office or the department. And this is a way of like finding a community, and it's a little different from other clubs because you obviously are going to be working and you might have time to study, and majority of the jobs are part-time, so it will allow you to have more flexible time to like focus on your academics as well. So they should be like understandable and really flexible with that. And on my experience, I had a on-campus job my second year of college, and then I stayed with the same department all the way to my fourth year, and it was amazing. I was integrated, I felt welcome, and I found like a really nice and welcoming community. So I just wanted to mention some examples and some different like on-campus jobs that are available. So we do have work study and non-work study jobs. There are tutoring centers, there's dining halls, there's like research opportunities. So there are many options for you guys. You guys can do your research or even meet with your advisor so they can help you explore and like explore like the different options out there for your own campus. But yeah, we can go ahead and move on to the next one. And I'm just gonna transition to Jeanette.
Hi, thanks, Nayeli. So yes, Nayeli mentioned there's a wide variety of spaces that you can explore, and some of those are fraternities and sororities. Something good to note about these spaces is that there are some that focus on different things. Some are more social, some are more volunteer work focused, and others are also have that emphasis that's around academics, right? Like majors. So if you're definitely interested in something like this, where it's a social space, but you also have the ability to meet people that have similar career or major interest, definitely feel free to explore those. We have some that are like law, medicine, psychology. So definitely explore this as an option. I have a lot of friends that have joined some of these spaces, and they've really liked it because they felt like they formed a community, but they also felt like they were being held accountable towards their major and career. Next slide, please. And we also have faith-based groups. Again, there's a huge variety. Always make sure to check out your school student union page because they tend to have a list of spaces or organizations and clubs that exist. So this is also another option for students. We also most definitely have sports and recreational clubs. Something important to keep in mind is that some schools don't have certain sports. For example, UC Santa Cruz does not have a football team. I don't know if that's changed, but just considering something like that as you're researching these spaces. Another thing to keep note is if you are interested in sports, there is a huge difference in joining a team that is a competitive team and a club, right? Competitive teams tend to ask for full-time commitment outside of your academics, so 40 hours, and then you have your academics as well to think about. They have really strict requirements to join a competitive team, but you also have the flexibility of joining a club where the hours and the time that you commit to it is really based on your availability as a student. And I'll pass it over to Joseph.
Okay, now we'll be talking about academic and non-academic programs and clubs. So academic programs are centered around helping students perform better academically. Several programs are centered around helping different populations of students. For example, formerly foster students, first generation students, and underrepresented students reaching their academic goals. So these programs could be the Guardian Scholars, the Puente program, or Fiat Lux. And then non-academic programs and clubs are mainly centered around personal interests and hobbies. These clubs are great for you to explore different interests you might have. For example, these clubs vary from dance, debate, and cabs. And just know that if you do not find a club on campus, students can create their own clubs with the support of their student union. And moving on to cultural identity and ethnic student unions. These are organizations that are present on a lot of campuses. These organizations are support systems to help students who self-identify with these organizations. For example, there's Hermanos Unidos and Black Student Union. And now we will give our panelists time to introduce themselves. I will be handing it off to Carmen.
Hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Carmen Ordóñez, and I am a current student at San Francisco State University, and my major is in public health. So I wanted to just share with you guys a little bit about my experience there at the university. So far it's been great. This will be my last semester, this fall semester, and I am really excited because it's been a long time that I've been trying to reach for my goals, my academic goals. It's been a great experience so far, and I am ready to graduate and start building my professional life and have that experience I always wanted.
And now we'll hand it off to Destiny.
Hi everyone, I'm Destiny Lamagna. I just graduated from CSU East Bay in Hayward with a major in sociology and a minor in psych. And I am now a South Bay Community College Success Fellow. And I'll go ahead and pass it over.
Hi y'all, I'm Anna. I use pronouns she, her, hers. I just graduated in 2020 from UC Santa Cruz. And now I'm the UCSC Learning Support Services program, like a program coordinator. And I'm really excited to tell y'all all about community and my experience navigating a four-year institution.
And now we'll be moving on to our questions for our panelists. So our first question for our panelists is, what does community mean to you? Do you think it is important to be part of a community? If so, why?
I can start. So for me, community, it's like a group of people that shares common interests, and it is important because you can have a sense of belonging. You can have also support from others, and you provide support to others, and it helps you to share personal experiences that might be similar to other people, that can provide also support and grow of each other. And so embraces your spirit and your pride, and so it's a vital element of a healthy community.
I agree with Carmen as well. To me, community means people who kind of come together based off sharing a similar interest or trait. For me, community was really big socially. I was fortunate to be a part of a couple communities at East Bay. I'll go into them more later on during the presentation, but it was really great for me because I am first gen and East Bay is a commuter school. It was really hard for me to make friends at first on my own, but luckily the communities that I was in made me feel less alone, and I made great friends that I still talk to today, and I still help out with the communities that I was involved in. And I just say it makes college go by a lot faster when you're doing something every day with friends and being involved on campus, and it makes your experience a lot more meaningful. And it's just great to, you know, have that sense of belonging and have like your people. It's pretty great. And I'll pass it over to Anna.
Yeah, I agree with what everyone was saying. And I guess to build off of that, I feel like for me, community is also like what community means to me is to also have like shared values, to kind of decide like, okay, we have had other similar experiences or we have similar identities. And now we share these values and we want to connect with one another. I feel like going into college or navigating through college can feel like a really isolating experience, especially as a first generation student, or especially if you're in a space where there's not a lot of folks that look or like that look like you or share your values. So being able to come back to a community can help validate your experience, can help you navigate those spaces. And I feel like just make you feel like you deserve to be there, because it's true, you do deserve to be there, but sometimes you need that reassurance from someone else, and that's totally okay.
Thank you for sharing. Now we'll be moving on to our second question, which is, can you share the different communities that you were/are a part of in college and tell us about your experiences?
So first, one of the communities that I was part of this past year, it was HESA, is a Health Students Education at San Francisco State, but right now it changed the name, so it's a public health major. And I have the opportunity to meet different like professors and students, and also not just that, but like make connections with other organizations, like nonprofit organizations around San Francisco area, which it was great because we have like different communication just to like organize events like meetings or like panels like right now, so the students can like have an idea of what it is the major, and then also like you know, maybe like have connections with these organizations to like provide some supplies that are needed for like different communities in San Francisco that they don't have the opportunities, you know, to get essential supplies and stuff like that, especially right now in the pandemic. And so it's been great to like have those connections, and that later on you can like say, okay, maybe I can apply here for later for a job, or like, you know, even like have that communication with professors is great, and the other classmates, so you in the future you build that relationship of trust, and so you feel like, okay, we are colleagues later on and we know how to work together.
Thank you for sharing, Carmen. I know we had a raised hand, so from a student. So do you want to ask your question, or do you have a question? I'm not sure if they still have a question, or maybe it was an accident, but if you have a question, you can raise your hand and we'll call on you. But yeah, I'm just gonna pass it on to Destiny or Anna, whoever wants to like answer the question.
I could go. So the communities that I were in, once I got into the first one, it kind of led me to my other community, which is really cool. So my first one was EOP, which is the Education Opportunity Program at CSU East Bay. And I actually started before school started in August. I was in their summer bridge program. So I was really able to get a feel for East Bay, get a feel for what college is like. And it was really cool because I was able to make friends, which is something I was really nervous about. Just going into a whole new environment that's a lot bigger than what I'm used to, and in a whole new area. And I was able to learn just about how to register for classes and where all the buildings are, which is really good for me to know. And I was able to have a mentor through that too. And that mentor actually introduced me to Greek life, which is the sorority and fraternities kind of environment. And that was really cool too. I was fortunate enough to go to CSU East Bay for free with financial aid and the 10,000 degree scholarship that I earned when I was a student. So with that extra money I had, I decided to go to the sorority life, and that was really awesome to experience. I was able to go to a bunch of events, and we were able to raise money for women's cardiac healthcare. we were able to put on like fun events like Mr. Heartthrob, which was a male pageant where we raise money and we give back to the community, which is really cool. And from there, I actually was able to be in the RA community, which is the resident assistant. So the housing and kind of working for CSU East Bay, which was really cool as well, because I think Luis said it in the chat earlier, you get free housing. So I was able to get that dorm life experience for free while getting involved on campus and giving back to the community there, which was really cool. And then the last one was our diversity center. I'm also part of the LGBTQ community. So in the diversity, equity, inclusion center that East Bay has, we were able to meet, and we had drag bingo nights, which were really fun, and all the money that we raised kind of gave back to the LGBTQ community as well, and our resource center. So I say definitely try to get involved in communities because it's super fun. You make a lot of friends, and it's really great for networking, and you find a lot of great resources that way.
I had a really similar experience, Destiny, where I was able to find a community before I even had decided, or like before I stepped foot on campus. At UC Santa Cruz, they have a program that's called Engaging Education, which is like it's a student-initiated outreach program to reach out to students, like underrepresented students who aren't prioritized in the American education system. And so it's to encourage folks to apply to college. And so under eSquare, I found the Orale program, which is very similar if you've ever attended like a Mecha meeting or anything like that. It's very similar to that, but at like a higher ed level. And so through them, I was able to find folks who had very similar identities as me. And because of that, that's actually how I ended up choosing UC Santa Cruz, because I didn't feel that sense of community anywhere else I had applied to. And then from there, I was able to continue those connections that I had made in the program before I even started college, so that when I had started college, I was like, hey, I remember you from this program. I remember we did all these activities. We were really vulnerable with each other, and I feel like I can connect with you moving forward. And then from there, I also ended up applying to be a writing tutor at the Learning Center at my school. And from there, I also was able to create a lot of connection with folks whose like first language wasn't English, or for folks who are also interested in becoming like educators. And I feel like that really helped me ground myself at UC Santa Cruz. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Our next question is, how were you able to find these communities on campus, and how did you find the right fit?
Okay, so first, I think I was able to find a community because, well, first, they send you different emails from the university, like inviting you to different like clubs and organizations, and whatever your interests are, like you should like pay attention to those. And like through the professors too, there are also like in my case, like a lot of the students that were participating in the health education organization, they come to like different classes that we have in common, and like they invite different students to join them, and like they explain the experience and like things that like the activities that they do. And that's what I thought, wait, this is interesting, so maybe I can try. But then like also I receive and this is important too, because sometimes the professors, like they pay attention to like the students that are like, you know, interest, and like they are always like paying attention in classes and everything. So that's why it's important to talk with them after class or in the beginning of the class, because they will be like, oh, this will be like a great leader, so it could be part of a organization. So they reach you out and they send you an email, and we like to participate. And there you go, like that was a great opportunity. And yeah, also like they sometimes they do like different activities outside in the university. I think there is like one day for like different clubs and they are outside and they invite you in. I couldn't go to one of those activities because I was mostly remote, but then like if your classes are still like remotely, like you can do it like through the website, the university website. For example, in San Francisco State, there is the website where you can find like different clubs or organizations that you can be part of. And like if it's related to your major, like be aware of like the emails that they will send you constantly. And yeah, I think like my right fit, it was perfect for me. And like you have to like try to like fit your schedule very well, so that way you know, you don't have any conflicts with like the meetings and everything that you have from the clubs or organizations. So yeah. And next.
And for me, luckily the first one, EOP, I didn't have to look for that community. That one sort of came to me for the summer bridge, just because I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the best at math. So I had to go to summer bridge to help build my math, but I'm so fortunate that I was able to do that because I was able to make my first round of freshman friends, which is really great, and get to know counselors. And then I would say the best part for kind of finding your community is taking the time to really get to know yourself and kind of what you're passionate about and what you really want to do with your time at college. For the most part, you are the right fit for a lot of these things. I was a little bit shy and timid at first because it's kind of weird introducing yourself and throwing yourself out to new things and trying to get involved, but that's something that you didn't really do too much in high school. I was a little bit shyer in high school, but I'm really glad that I kind of went out and pushed myself out of my comfort zone to get to know people and kind of let people see who I am as well. And they'll be so excited to meet you. Usually the first week of school, they do like welcome back weeks where a lot of organizations and all of these clubs, literally every people who are involved on campus are there. And they just want you to come up and just talk to them, see what they're about, to see if that's something that you can relate to. Definitely take that up. Don't take that for advantage. Like go through and try to get to meet as much people as you can, because resourcing and networking will definitely help you find out what community you belong in, but it'll help you so much in the long run as well.
I was able to find community on campus because of like word of mouth. I feel like that's a really big thing in college, is like students talk about their experience with different orgs and programs and resources. And so just hearing other people mention like, oh, you should check out this resource, or, you know, you should be a little bit cautious about approaching that resource, like taking, you know, listening to folks' experiences. And then I still encourage you to go and experience it for yourself as well. So that way that you can kind of be the like, okay, you know, yes, like this is, or actually maybe it worked out for me a little bit better than it has worked for other folks, things of that nature. But I would say definitely it was just hearing other people's experiences. And then for like the orale, I honestly, it was having like college, like a high school counselor that kind of went above and beyond and was like, Anna, do this. You have to apply to this. That really helped. And then I think specifically for like me joining learning support services, they had actually sent out an email that was like, you meet X amount of requirements, we encourage you to apply. But it was, I think, the reason that I had heard so much, or I had even been interested or took it as a legit opportunity, was because a lot of folks were talking about like the services, the tutoring services that were being offered at this program. And then one I think I didn't mention earlier was like, I forgot, I was like, oh, I was a part of Hermanas Unidas for a bit. And that was also because of people just sharing about how they were also looking for folks that had similar experiences as them. And then how I found the right fit was really acknowledging like, what am I looking for to get out of this community, and not in a transactional way, but as in like, I just need someone to help me empower and help me carry out my values. So really assessing like, does this community align with what I'm trying to do in this space? Can this community or this space give me the opportunity to grow and learn and be able to help others who are also navigating college just like me. So just really, I think sticking to like what matters to you will help you find the right fit. But also like be curious. You never know what other skills you might want to pick up or learn. So I feel like just two things. One, know who you are, and it's okay if you're still discovering who that is. And two, be curious. You never know what opportunities and what networks you might create in the process.
Thank you so much for that. Our next question is, how have your identities played a role in building, finding your community or communities? I know this was kind of trickled into the rest of the answers, but.
Well, in my case, I think like, we mentioned a lot in public health what it is important inclusion and also like the diversity. So I think like it is important to have like diversity in communities, because as well in the healthcare sector right now, they are trying to like see more people of different backgrounds, so we can share our experiences and like understand better, like when it comes like when you see what are the problems that patients are having right now, people from different communities. I think it is important that you feel that you are bringing you know, your own identity, like a different culture, a different language, different experiences, you know, different things that will make grow the what is it called? The sector, right? Like for example, in my case, the healthcare sector. Like I think it is important to like if I am fluent in Spanish, then like I can like help, you know, other communities with it in Spanish, and I can like you know, like put my my experience of what it is that being a first student here in the United States, first generation student, and how that can help other students to like motivate them and keep working towards their goals, like and like, you know, like maybe have my experience, and so they can like not make the same mistakes that I did, and like, you know, maybe progressing in that way. I don't know. Yeah.
To kind of follow up on Carmen's, like, yeah, once you kind of understand your own identity, it's easier for you to able to do the things that you love to do. Like, for example, being first gen, I know that I want to help people really bad. So that's where I also found my sociology community, like just in my major, also with EOP as well, and like joining other groups where you're helping people, like being a resident assistant, you're helping people all day. Like, even if you don't expect to, you are. Just being involved in any community, it's kind of goes back to who you are as a person, and there's like an immediate understanding and immediate trust built sort of once you find other people who relate to you and have that similar like in your community. Like it feels so great to walk in somewhere and know that you're welcome and other people feel the same way as you and like understand you and get like your hardships or where you're coming from, or just supporting each other. It's a really great way to just be vulnerable and connect to people. And once you're vulnerable and genuine, you make like the best relationships ever. So that's one way to go about it, with like figuring out who you are with your identity.
Yeah, I agree with Destiny and Carmen. It's I feel like there's being able to find someone with similar identities to you, at least for me, has heavily influenced the spaces that I am at least initially willing to try. It's almost like a first stepping stone for me. And I feel like as you start to feel really secure in that, I think in my journey, I've noticed like once I established that kind of confidence, it allowed me to go into spaces where maybe it was a little bit harder to see how I fit into those spaces, and find community in spaces that aren't like initially like seem as inclusive or diverse, but because I've established that, or that confidence, that like self-efficacy, I'm able to go into a new space to say, I can create community here in my way, and hopefully like kind of like build a community within an already existing community, especially if it's needed. One of my majors was film and digital media, which there aren't a lot of like students of color in that major. And so by me having already established these other spaces, I was able to go into that space and be like, I want to encourage all the like Chicanx, Latinx students to also be able to share their art and their voice. So that's what I mean by like establish yourself so that way that you, and like existing communities so that you can eventually create communities for other folks.
Thank you everyone for sharing. We appreciate you guys. We're gonna move on to the next one. And I know you guys touch on it a little bit, but you're more than welcome to share any other benefits that you can think of, like of being part of a community. But I'm just gonna go ahead and read the question. What are some benefits of being part of a community? And what are some of the challenges that you face while finding the right space for you?
I think one of the benefits for me is that it has like Anna and Destiny, they mentioned, like it empower you to like have your own voice, and like it gives you like that confidence, build confidence that that you can like start, you know, putting out there who you are, and like accept yourself how you are, and like all the things that you've been through and everything is like you're taking pride of it. And I'm also like sharing like the good things that you have learned with others, as I mentioned before, and always, you know, like keeping in mind that it is important that we help others, our other students, the new generations that come, because we have to like work together, as you know, like always at the sense of like community and with strong values. I don't know, I think it is, for me, is the part, that one of like empowering you, like maybe like as a woman of right now, that a Latina woman, and feeling that you can do it, right? It's like having that feeling of like, okay, you know, I am worth it. I feel like I belong here. And yeah, I think that is important. And I'm also like feeling that you are doing something like good for the benefit of the society in the future. And then some of the challenges that I experience is that when you're in a community, you feel like there are different opinions, right? There's always like you are working towards the same goal. Like, you know, you can have similar ideas, but then there's always, you know, like differences. And like it was hard like last semester in that group that we were, because some of us like we had different opinions. But the best thing is like you have to practice active listening. And I'm also like tolerance, and like feel that, okay, like my ideas are like that, but then I have to respect other ideas, and I have to listen, because that way you learn, and then the other people also learn, and like it's complementing, right? And so I think that you have to be open. You have to be open mind and open your heart and try to listen others, because that's how we learn. And how right now the things are going on everywhere, like I feel that we have to have more tolerance and like try to like understand each other, because we work better together. We don't work if we are like individually. We have to work together.
Like Carmen said, a big benefit is that inner confidence you get. It's just like a whole new glow once you kind of figure out your community and where you belong, and you get that sense of belonging. Another one would be support. I received so much support. I have the best mentor, the best friends, just from building a community, especially in the education opportunity program, because that's where mainly like first generation low income students of color reside. So we just always support each other because I'm not gonna lie, the first finals and our first midterms were hard for us being first gen because you don't know what to expect coming into college and having taking so many units and having tests on the same day, a lot of tests the same week. So we really supported each other. I said, hey, you know, if I got this, you got this. We can study here in the library together. We can study at my dorm. And it just makes you feel better, like you're not so alone, and someone else who also is dealing with the same hardship you're going through and a big adjustment is helping you. So you're kind of helping each other. So that was something that was great, just the great support you receive. And one of the challenges was for me was kind of putting myself in this box because I didn't really check what the other clubs had, and I kind of regret that. I would say definitely get an open mind and be open about all the clubs there. There was a club at East Bay called PASA, and it's like a Filipino-based organization, and they always looked like they had so much fun. They're always chanting and doing games, and I'm like, OMG, I want to be a part of that, but I'm not Filipino. And my friend, who was also in my sorority, said, you don't have to be Filipino to join. I'm in it, and I'm not Filipino, and we have so much fun. And I was like, OMG, like, I'm gonna do that. Like, I wish I got involved in the more cultural clubs and kind of seen what else was out there, just besides sticking to just Greek life and like the community I had my freshman year. So keep expanding your communities as the years go by, because that'll definitely help you out too.
Yeah, to build off on what everyone said and kind of summarize, like again, I think one of the biggest benefits is having a sense of belonging in the space, sharing resources and tools, opening of opportunities. There's still folks that I like had networked during my undergrad that I still turn to now post-grad to be like, here is my experience. What can I do? Can you give me advice? Can you give me tools? That network never goes away once you've established that really great connection in your community, no matter what point, at what point you're reaching out again. Another thing is, validating your experiences and how to navigate challenging situations. I feel like communities can really like empower you, and you can be met with so much empathy. So that's just kind of my summary. And then I feel like the challenges I feel like are, it's just not knowing where to begin. And I think that we touched on that like earlier. It's like, it's really hard to decide, I'm gonna go to this meeting. So, I encourage y'all to like bring a friend, talk to someone in the group, be like, okay, I'm going to see this person and I'm going to be there for them. And then that's how you can kind of work yourself up, like, hype yourself up to go to the meetings. It's just having that one person of holding each other accountable. Like, we're going to go to this meeting, we're going to create this community. Another thing is feeling like that you're not enough to be in a space. So this feeling of like, my identity isn't enough for me to go here, or my experience isn't enough to be in that space. That is a lot of self-doubt. And so please know that you just going, like, I'm sure a lot of clubs on campus just want people to come and be curious. And so just know that you don't need to be anything other than yourself to show up in that space.
Thank you so much. We're gonna move on to the last question. I know we're almost about to end our presentation, but what are some advice that you would like to share with their first year students? I know you guys shared plenty of advice, so anything else that you guys want to share is welcome, and we can move on to any questions that students might have for you guys.
I think my advice to you guys, it would be like, yes, be in communication with your professors, try to build like community with the students, with other classmates, and be organized with your time. Like, try to write it down, everything. Like, I usually have my agenda, and I feel like when I use my agenda, I organize everything that I have to do, the task. Otherwise, like, I will forget because there's so many things. So try to be organized, try always to like, talk with your professors, build that relationship with them. They are always like really helpful. Use the resources that the university provide you, like take advantage of those resources, because those are amazing. Like, they always have been, like, they have been helping me a lot, and I'm sure like everybody else can say that. And yeah, just keep it up. Remember always your goal, stay focused, and like remember that you can do it, like no matter where you come, like no matter what where you come from, like what difficulty you have, like you can do it. Like you have to believe in yourself.
Yeah, Carmen, I definitely agree with all of that. I would also say they definitely take advantage of what your college offers, because colleges like to give stuff away for free except tuition, which is like, we want the tuition free, but whatever. But they'll give you free Scantrons, free shirts, free water bottles, free food. When I was an RA at East Bay, I would get free food, free groceries. I didn't have to pay for anything. And I wish I was still living on campus because I don't want to pay for groceries no more. You would get free therapy, free counseling, really get involved on campus, and definitely just ask. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Even just like, what is this event? You will find out so much just from that. And when you ask, people get happy when you ask, because people will throw great programs, great events for students. And sometimes people don't show up, but there's free food, free everything. Like take advantage, because the years do go by fast as well. So just have fun. Get outside your comfort zone. I know it's scary at first, but everyone else, especially freshmen, feel that same scary feeling. So just say hi and get to know the people around you. It'll make your experience a lot more memorable.
My advice is to not be afraid to contact people. Like you can literally just email a general office to be like, this is a resource I'm looking for. How can I find this? And so oftentimes an office will either redirect you and be like, here's a person you can talk to. Ideally, at least on my campus, we have created a lot of other connections with other programs on campus. So it's not hard for us to be like, oh, wow, it sounds like you're really needing this. Let me put you in contact with this person at this office. So please don't be afraid to just reach out and ask questions. Another thing, yeah, please go to all the events, all the resources, even if you feel like you don't necessarily need it in that moment, at least you went and you asked questions. So because life happens, in the event that you do need something, you know who to contact, and you know where you can go to find those resources. Or even more so, maybe your friends are also unsure about where to go. And so you can be that peer to be like, oh, well, I went to this opportunity and I learned about this. Like I had gotten my first year laptop covered by financial aid because there was a grant. Not a lot of my friends knew about that grant. So in my first year, I was telling everyone, go get your grant, go get your free laptop. It's the least the university can do, right? So yeah, just go to those resources, ask the questions, and I think that just knowing who to ask or where to go or might make things a lot easier moving forward.
Well, thank you so much to our panelists. We are gonna do we have any questions for our panelists? Any comments? You can also write it in the chat. Any reactions are welcome as well. But we're just gonna take a few minutes to see if anyone has a question. No, you don't have any questions, comments? Okay, so I see people are starting to comment in the chat. So if you have any questions, just unmute yourself or raise your hand. And so now we're gonna move on to our poll. And the question that we have is, how do you feel about building community after learning from our panelists and after we share with you guys about like the different options that we have, that you all have on your campuses to build community and be part of a club and organization? So just take a moment to answer it. Hopefully we have more people excited and ready. So we're just gonna wait a little bit more to see what are the responses from students.
And again, just wanted to highlight, this is how we take attendance. So please make sure to complete the poll.
So we see that there's a lot of ready, thankful. Majority of you guys are thankful, which is great, excited. If you're still processing, that's completely okay. You can reach out to your advisor and they can always support you in the best way they can. So thank you guys for participating. And if anyone has any other questions or comments are always welcome and you can put it in the chat. But I do want to take the time to thank, to give like a special shout out to our panelists. Thank you for being here and thank you for being so open and sharing you guys' experiences. Also, again, congratulations on graduating high school and getting ready for college. That's also like a big accomplishment. So congratulations. And as I mentioned, like reach out to your advisor. We're super excited to get to know each other and meet you guys and support you in the best way that we can and like provide resources. So feel free to reach out as much as you need. And I also want to highlight that we do have another workshop happening on Thursday, July 21st. So if you can attend that one, that will be great. So I just want to say welcome to 10,000 Degrees. And I think we're reaching the end of our presentation. So I know it's already 3:02. So I think you're free to go. And we can stick around a little bit if you have any questions for our panelists or for our staff. So thank you guys for coming.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you guys. Have a great
Bye.
day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.